Okay, so today we are handling a very powerful law, the law of service, the law of service. And I can proudly say that maybe this is one of my biggest secrets in being able to build this kind of career in the work that I do. And a lot of people have been able to do tremendous things in their lives and businesses because of the law of service. The law of service states that your rewards in life will be in direct proportion to the value of your service to others. There are two critical things. Not three critical things in this statement. Your rewards in life will be in direct proportion to the value of your service to others. I want to focus on three key things here. Number one is value. Number two is service itself. And number three is others. Value talk about the impact of what you do. Value can also talk about the excellence of what you do, the effectiveness of what you do, the power of what you do. It is not just about doing something, it is about the effectiveness. It is about the impact of what you do. It is not just about, for example, talking. It is about you being well trained in a way that you can cause transformation when you start training people or when you are speaking to people. And that is why for value to take place, you must be competent. Competence has a direct relationship with the quality of value that you can create. So that is why it is one thing to desire to create value or to be an influential stakeholder or expert in an industry, but it is another thing for you to stretch yourself and create that value. It's another thing for you to stretch yourself and become competent in creating that value. That is why there are people, you notice that, okay, this is the value I desire to start creating. Okay, let me go back to school and get a degree. Let me go back to school and get a master's. Let me go back to school and get a PhD program. Let me attend this particular program and get certified and get lessons and learn from this particular expert. Because you want to scale up your ability to create significant value. And we are in a dispensation whereby for you to effectively compete in the business world, your business must be very effective at creating exceptional value. There is no way you are going to stand out in your industry as a top player if you cannot stand out in creating basic value or even creating advanced value. So the question I have for you is, you desire to be successful. You desire to be influential. What is the quality of the value that you desire to create? Can it compete with other people in the same sector? Can it compete with players who have been there 10 years before you? Can it compete with people who have more money and more staff than you? What can you do different to bring unique value to the table? It's very critical. And that's why I get worried for young people who get, because we're now in a generation whereby young people want to hype. When they think that they can do something, the next immediate thing is hyping. That's why we're in a generation whereby young people can listen to, they come to an event, they listen, and they go organize their own event and trying to transmit what they learned in that event. Instead of listening to practice, produce results before they teach, they listen and they go teach. And that is why there are many young speakers around, many people who have many guys who have different training programs and so on, but the value, the quality of what they create is not significant. I have seen many young people in Cameroon who go and create their own training programs, and it's a replica of my training program that I've done. The patience to sit and put in the work is not there. Because to properly train a program, for example, we're reading the same book, and after an hour, I say, come coach you guys. Come on, it's not because I'm just reading now or at the same time and I come and teach you. I need to go a step ahead. I need to pay the price and look at different patterns in what the author is teaching, and I try to contextualize it in a way that you can pick it up from where you are. Pick it up in Bamenda, pick it up in Boya, pick it up in Limbe, pick it up in Malawi, pick it up wherever you're listening from. Pick it up and begin to execute. It takes more than just reading the book for that to happen. What is the quality of your value? For the law of service to work, you need to be intentional and audacious when it comes to the quality of your value. And for your value to be very qualitative, you need to put a lot of work behind the scenes. And I can guarantee you, I am still to see that a human being who has qualitative value, excellent value, top-notch value, who is struggling. If you are still struggling, one of the things you should check is the excellence of the value that you produce as a professional. Does it have the ability to compete with what is already in the marketplace? The second thing I want us to pick in that law, that first sentence, is service. The heart to serve. And you cannot talk about service without the love of people. You cannot talk about service when you have not ascertained who you are called to serve. Who are you called to serve? The quality you're designing, the quality you're building, who are you called to serve? You're building for who? You're designing for who are you designing that particular quality for, or quality of value for? There is no way you are going to succeed in running a business or in doing your job if you don't love the target market that you're called to serve with the value that you're creating. What is the deepness of your love for people? What is your desire to serve? What is your desire to give back? You run a restaurant, okay, good. How much do you love to see people enjoy good food and be satisfied? And these are some things that you may not really quantify in terms of money, but it has significant ripple effect when it comes to the final payment that you get to ask for. The quality of service is very important, and the desire to serve, the sincere desire to give back to a group of people is critical. It's very important. Look at those who have made it in life. They are dangerous givers. They're dangerous servants. They always over exceed your expectations when it comes to service. They always overgive. They overserve beyond even the money you are giving. It's intentional. The law of service is very critical in the journey of success. The last part in that law, in that statement that I read, as the statement I'm breaking down is, your rewards in life will be in direct proportion to the value of your service to others. So we have broken down value, we've broken down service. Now I'm talking about others. Others means a lot. Others means the community you're serving. Others means the society you're. You cannot serve 10 people every year or once a year and expect to be successful financially and expect to be called an impactful person. That's too small. You can start with 10, but you should not end serving 10 people. So these others engulf all of these things. What is the size of the market that you're serving with the value that you're creating? How many people can you serve in the next 10 years or for the rest of your life. Because your reward is directly related not only to the quality of your service, but to the quantity of the service. Is related to the number of people that you are able to serve. It is critical for you to be conscious about that. And when you begin, you can begin small with a smaller quantity. But when you grow in your competence, when you grow in your experience, when you grow in your heart, when you grow in your mindset, when you grow in your leadership capabilities, the numbers of people that you serve should also grow. So if you are clocking 2 years anniversary in your career or business, 3 years anniversary, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, and the number of people that you are serving with the value that you're creating is not consistently growing, something is wrong somewhere. The law of service is not fully exploited. It's not fully implemented. So from today, I want to charge you also. If you have been in service, if you have been creating value and you have been using it to serve people, start paying attention to numbers. You need to ensure that your numbers are growing. And when before mentioning numbers, I mentioned some critical things. Check your competence. Don't push for numbers, for growth in numbers when your competence have not grown to handle a bigger number. Don't desire to impact 10,000 people when you don't have the experience of impacting 1,000 people. Don't desire of leading 10,000 people when you cannot even lead your family. You cannot even lead your friends. You cannot even lead your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You cannot even advise or sit like a leader. Something is wrong somewhere. When you're able to handle all of these things, the law of in direct proportion to the value of your service to other people. Check Dangote. He is where he is because of numbers. He's where he is because of how he served, the number of companies he has that serve people. But also check the time. It took him 35 years, for almost 40 years, to where he is today. Check the Mark Zuckerbergs, who are almost sometimes the US Congress invite them to Congress to defend certain things. They have become so powerful and they are called institutions, even though they are individuals. They commanded, they wield a lot of power. Do you know why? The law of service. They serve billions of people across the world that give them a lot of power. One of the best ways to build power is to serve many people excellently. And check people who have built incredible power. It has taken them time. It has taken them not less than 7 years and above to consistently deliver excellent value to a group of people. And over time, they consistently expand the number of people that they serve because they have grown in terms of capabilities, competence, leadership, experience. They have grown in their hearts, they have grown in their minds, they have grown in all core areas that qualify them to experience and engineer that kind of growth. We all make our livings and add meaning to our lives by serving other people in some way. Anybody who has made a living, anybody presently making a living, making a name for themselves in their career or running a business, they are doing so because they add meaning to people's life by serving them. The question I have for you is, you so much desire success. How can you add meaning to whosoever that you desire to serve? Who are you called to add meaning to? Whether you're a visionary founder or you're an employee, you are called to add meaning somewhere. And I've told you guys several times, not everybody's, there are many of you trying to run companies and businesses, meanwhile it's not your calling to run something. Your calling is to serve under a vision, not to be a visionary. But here's the fact. Even if you're an employee, you are called to add meaning under that platform. You're called to add meaning to the founder that you're serving. You're called to add meaning to your colleagues. You're called to add meaning to the target customers that they, and whether we like it or not, we are all dependent upon thousands and millions of other people for food, for the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the homes we live in, and the various elements that make our lives enjoyable and worthwhile. We are dependent on those who are designing the Zoom platform, Zoom engineers, Zoom customer service staff, Zoom operation staff, legal team. We're depending on them to use the Zoom platform to have this session. The mobile phone that you're using, the laptop that you're using, the internet you're using, we are depending on a human being to be able to use all of those services. They are adding meaning to your life. So our primary jobs, our primary responsibility as young people, our primary responsibility as professionals and as entrepreneurs is to find the best way to incorporate ourselves into the fabrics of the society by serving as many people as possible. If you want to increase your influence, want to increase your power, want to increase your financial success, this is one thing you have to find a way to do. Always find a way to incorporate yourself into the fabric of the society by serving as many people as possible with the value that you can create. You can serve as an employee under an organization. If you're unemployed right now, you don't have a job, you cannot just sit like that. Go and volunteer somewhere. Volunteering is a tool, it's a system established that you can use to incorporate yourself into the fabrics of the society. One of our recent employees that we just admitted into the company as a full-time employee, she just came and she was doing nothing at home. She just came and said, you know what, I just want to be there. And we're giving her nothing, I think, in the first 2 months or so, or 3 months. But she was so good at it. She forcefully incorporated herself into the company. I can say that in a good way. And now she's on probation with a monthly allowance. And the way she's going to, next month, she may get her full-time employment letter. But now imagine if she was just sitting at home doing nothing. There's no way that she would have incorporated herself into the fabrics of the marketplace if she was just sitting at home and serving nobody. Okay, she came to work. She was serving the office. She was serving me sometimes to go and buy me juice. That's a way she incorporated herself and find a way to serve people. That's why I keep saying, if you come every morning and you listen to this and you don't go put it to action, one of the best ways to incorporate yourself into systems and platforms and institutions and other individuals and even nations is for you to find a way to incorporate yourself into the fabrics of that marketplace, into the fabrics of that society and that community, and begin to serve people as much as possible. There is a lot of power in that. A lot of power. I even want to write something and share in the group. Let me say it right now. I wanted to ask you guys, how do you incorporate yourself when there is a national event? How do you incorporate yourself when there's a global day? How do you incorporate yourself when there's a mega something happening? How do you leverage on that? How do you fit yourself into it? Because I was looking at, for example, the Valentine's Day stuff, Valentine's Day that just passed. I made a discount sales of most of my, some 15. I selected 15 of my courses and I made a discount sales. On Valentine's Day, before, that's supposed to end at 10 a.m. Valentine's Day, right? On Valentine's Day, 10 a.m., I had made a total of 310,000 francs selling courses. In less than what, 12 hours? I think another thing, the previous day around 3 p.m. Then at 10 a.m., it was supposed to end. That was a very simple, basic strategy to incorporate myself in what is already happening and benefit from the ripple economic effects. So I had a simple question, and there was time I asked a question. There was AFCON in Cameroon. How will you make money from AFCON? Anybody who was serious and intentional, whether old or young, if you're somebody who thinks and push yourself and ask questions, you would have found a way to make money from the ended football competition. Okay, Valentine's Day came and passed. What some people did, all they did was to create memes or write love letters up and down. Oh, that is good. That's part of life. Excellent. But apart from that, what else did you do? What did you create? How did you incorporate yourself into the fabrics of that day, into the fabrics of the economic power that was bypassing that day? There was a lot of economic ripple effects passing by. Like one thing that one of us did, Nelly runs a restaurant in Limbe. I think she hired a musician, hired instruments, and they came. You know, you take action. Until you take action to serve people, until you intentionally find ways and platforms and systems and tools that you can leverage on and incorporate yourself into the society or into a day like that, nothing will happen. Because until you incorporate a strategy, until you incorporate a system, until you incorporate something within a day like that or within a society, you will not have the opportunity to serve anybody. And when you don't have the opportunity to serve anybody, you will never make money. You will never create significant impact in the society. And you can do this as an employee. You can do this as a founder. But in one way or the other, you've got to find a way to do that excellently. You've got to always find a way to incorporate yourself. Stop existing. Just stop being there. You're working somewhere, find a way to be a key player, to be a key stakeholder where you work. It's critical, very important. All fortunes begin with the sale of personal services. All fortunes, all wealth begins with the sale of personal services. The first step for you to build your fortune is for you to start selling something personal, start selling personal value. As simple as, okay, you don't have a job now. Okay, use your skill and become an intern somewhere, become a volunteer somewhere. Start from there. That is the beginning of all fortunes. Okay, do you have the heart? Do you have the boldness to leave your house and go start selling something on the street? Okay, go do it. There are many people that started from the street, but they did not end on the streets. The difference is the boldness and the vision that they have when they started at the beginning. All fortunes start with the sell. The sell means you can remove sell and put service. Maybe there's just a word to say you have to exchange something for something. Stop waiting. It's like you have a business idea and you're waiting for the day somebody will give you 10 million francs before you start. You're not going to start. You will never start. But the beginning of your fortune is if you start small. I don't respect anybody who has something to do and is waiting for external capital. Then you are not serious about being an entrepreneur. True entrepreneurs have always started before help came after. And let me tell you, every idea, there's a way to start any idea small. Tell me any idea, I'll give you where to start small. Do you want to start a restaurant? Okay, start in your house. Go and buy simple rice, simple chicken, start cooking chicken, parcel it, start selling it. Start doing promotion online. Go to your neighbors, announce that you now do food and deliver in their houses. You will start selling from there. Increase the number of people that know that you can cook food in your house and deliver. You scale from there. Do you want to start a primary school someday? Okay, before you start an evening school in your house. Move around, talk to your neighbors who have small kids. Tell them, look, I'm good at maths, I'm good at English language, I'm good at French, I'm good at this, and this. I can enhance your kids to become better performers in school. Charge them 10,000 francs, 15,000 francs. Have 5 of them, have 10 of them. You start making 150 a month. Start saving 50%, 80% of that income every month. After 3 months, you can rent a bigger space and still maintain as an after-school program. From there, you can save $1 million, save 2 million, save 3 million. You can rent a bigger space, start the registration process of your nursery and primary school. In less than 3-4 years, you will have a full-blown running school with 500 plus kids. I'm not saying like a joke. I have my classmates in secondary school. He came to our school in Form 3. We are bench mates from Form 3 to Form 5. And today, he runs a primary school of 500 kids in New Bell, and he just started a secondary school last year. And recently, he just bought his own building, his own campus. But was that how he started? No. That's not how he started 4 years ago, 2018. But he started just simple. He forcefully incorporated himself into the fabrics of the educational sector in Cameroon by serving kids in his one-room house. And he built that respect, that credibility, that experience, and consistently is rising. If you wish to increase the quantity of your reward, you must first increase the quality and the quantity of your service. Look at the word increase. You cannot increase what you have not started. You've got to start first before you increase. So you want to increase money, you want to increase your influence, you want to increase your fame, you want to increase your power, you want to increase reputation, you want to increase respect. Increase first the quality and the quantity of your service. According to everyday study, the highest paid American entrepreneurs and executives, professionals, salespeople work on average of 59 hours per week for many years to become successful. I love this part. According to a scientific study research, the highest paid American entrepreneurs, executives, professionals, salespeople work on average of 59 hours per week for many years to become successful. Now, an average worker works 40 hours per week. That means we're taking 8 hours times 5 working days. Now, average workers, people who work like this, don't produce any significant results. You cannot expect to produce the same result like somebody who works 59 hours per week. It doesn't work like that. People who work 59 hours a week work a minimum of 11 hours a day on their business, on themselves, on their career, and on whatever that they do. There are more extreme people. If you work 16 hours a week like I do, it means that, and work what, 7 days a week, it means I will get to work 112 hours a week. There are people who work like that and even more, depending on the stage where they find themselves. Because you cannot expect to serve a large number of people by putting in little time. It doesn't go like that. It doesn't. So stop expecting massive success. Stop expecting exceptional success when you are just an average performer. It doesn't. And as I always say, what an American can take 10 hours to do, an African needs to take 20 hours to do it. Do you know why? They have a better economy. They have better policies. They have better systems. They have better many things than us. Their internet is 10 times better than ours. So what they can do with the internet for 2 minutes, we need to do it for 12 minutes. Do you guys know that? Let me give you a practical example. There was a time I did a video to send to one of my partners in the US. It took me the whole night to upload a 1 gig. I'll never forget that night in Boya. That was 1.6 gig video on YouTube for her to take 2 minutes and download, less than 2 minutes. We're on the Zoom session I did. I said, I just sent you the link to the video. Can you download and look at it? Let's talk about it. And she said, like in less than up to 2 minutes, second, she said, oh, I got it. And then she played on Zoom and I'm seeing that. But that was something that took me, I slept in the office because the office location had better internet service than the house. So I slept in the office for the whole night to upload a video which somebody took less than 2 minutes to download. If I was supposed to download that same video again, it would take me almost 6 hours plus to download that particular video. Now, you now see why I say what they can take 10 minutes to achieve, we need to take at least 30 minutes to achieve. There you can sit online and register a business and it comes back in a few hours. I was in Rwanda the other day. A friend registered a business online at 8 a.m. and by 1 p.m. the documents, the business was registered and ready. But in Cameroon, it's not going to take you less than 1 month. Except you go and grab your way through and get it in 1 week or 3 days. You have to use a lot of money. And now that is a lot of losses they're going to use. You get a point. So you cannot expect to compare the level of hard work and commitment like with other people in other countries. You are in a different dispensation, you're in a different environment. You're in a very difficult, hard environment. And for you to win, you've got to be rugged. You've got to go the extra mile. You've got to be so terribly good that the corrupt system have no choice than to use you. So we have got to be dangerous when it comes to the law of service. It's so critical. That's why I get to pity people. Somebody you do something little here and you face the challenge and you want to give up or you don't want to do it again. I'm like, are you serious? You're giving up to do what? What are you giving up to do now? What are you going to do next? Do you think there's another sector that is easier? None is easier. If you cannot have the right attitude to produce the right results, you're not going to produce anything different. No matter how your compensation is structured or how it is described, it is ultimately based on the value of your service and the size of your contribution. No matter how your compensation is structured, no matter how your salary is structured, no matter how your monthly income is structured as a business person, it is ultimately based on the value of your service and the size of your contribution. The value of your service and the size of your contribution. So if you want to increase the rewards that you get, the compensation that you get in terms of money and other benefits, you have got to increase the value of your service and you've got to increase the size of your contribution to the society. You have got to do that. To put it another way, you are ultimately paid for results. And this is the economy we are right now. You are paid for results. The good news is that you can increase your value and ultimately the amount that you earn by increasing the quality and the quantity of your result. If you work in an organization like mine, for example, where we are driven by result, sometimes like last year, I increased salaries about four times in a year. With me, if the company produces better results, I'm increasing salary next month. That's me. You are paid for the result you produce. Simple. We increased salaries this month already, February. There are some new bonuses that we created. I created in the company this month. I am all about result. I pay you for the result you produce. Simple. So if you work, you get it. If you don't work, you don't get it. Simple. Thank God that there's no law that says, oh, you must increase salaries only twice a year or once a year. It will be 8 times a year as long as there's growth. I love people to enjoy what they earn. And it also encourages people. When you serve well, you should enjoy the service that you're serving. That's my simple philosophy. I says, oh, if you work with me. So when there's growth, you should reflect on the people that are serving the institution. So people that want to increase better results, they need to ensure that they increase the value of their service and the size of their contribution. The size talks about the numbers. If today your business is serving 10 people, you want to have better rewards, let it serve 20 people. Increase the size of the market. That is why when you talk to investors, one of the most important questions that investors ask is, what is the size of your market? If you're somebody who studies investing patterns in Africa, you understand that startups in Nigeria, Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa have more investors, and North America, they have more investors. Do you know why? Because investors are investing not just in the idea, but in the size of the market. That's why they have Nigerian easy investors, because almost everything in Nigeria is in short supply. Too much population. So the size of the market is very important. Same for you. You have got to, so that's why you need to strive every day to increase the size of your people who are consuming whatever you're creating. There is no way you will increase your monthly profits if you cannot increase the size of your contribution to the target market. The most successful men and women in our society are those who are able to lose themselves in serving the people who depend upon them, their customers, their employees, and others for what they do. You lose yourself in service. You serve more. You consistently serve. You find better ways that you can serve. So you need to become crystal clear about who your customers really are. You need to become crystal clear who you're called to serve with your purpose, who you're called to serve with your talent, with your passion. Your customers here include everyone who depend upon you for anything you want in your business and personal life. Your customers also include those who are dependent on you for their success or satisfaction. Based on what you carry, based on your skills, based on your purpose, based on your passion, based on your experience, based on what you can generally create as value, I have a question for you. Who depends upon you for their success and satisfaction? How can you serve them in an excellent way? That is the beginning of your wealth creation. So who are those people in your personal life who depend on you some way? It could be family, friends, people in your community. How can you serve them better? How can you serve them in an innovative way? How can you excellently help them produce better results and live better lives and feel satisfied? And then how can you charge for that service? What kind of reward can you ask for? And the reward that you ask directly is directly proportionate to the quality of your service and the size of the contribution that you bring to the table. When you get the law of service right, it is the beginning of your fortune. It is the beginning of your wealth creation. So enhance and practice the law of service, which in simple terms states that your rewards in life and career, or your rewards in your business, will be in direct proportion to the value of your service and to the size of the contribution that you bring to the society. Before you complain, before you say things are not going, let me ask you a question. Who are you serving? How many people are you serving? What authority, what value, what skills do you have? And who can you serve with those skills? Consistently, growing consistently. Then from there, we can start seeing why you are not making it in your career and business. All right, people, that's it for today. We can take some questions and comments and we'll round up.